Hello! My screen name is Covert Muffin, and this is my AGDQ submission for JKA Any percent. As showcased at this past SGDQ, this speedrun features brain-plosions levels of awesome speed tech. Since then, new tricks, level order, and force powers have been altered in order to increase difficulty, swag, and save a little bit of time in the process. I hope you enjoy this submission, and thank you so much for your time. Take a bath. Okay, awesome. So those first two enemies I killed are some of the most RNG dependent. Powers can be super trolly. So here, because I don't have force jump yet, what I'm doing is I am building speed very carefully by doing two different things. Whoops! Oh, that was funny. The first thing I was doing was using what is known as elevation boosting. What elevation boosting does is whenever I jump from a higher surface to a lower surface, I end up getting a little bit of speed, so I get a little burst of speed. Then the second way is, as I'm jumping, I'm actually moving at a diagonal, either pressing W plus A or W plus D, and then turning as I go through the jump, and this is also getting me a little bit of speed. And so coming up here is a saber droid, probably one of the hardest enemies in the game. Boom! Take a bath. Alright. So besides Force Jump, in Yavin 2, I've actually unlocked a list of other primary force powers, which are Force Push, Force Pull, Force Sense, and Force Speed. Whoops. So these will actually be showcased later in the run, which is extremely exciting. Besides primary force abilities, in each tier of missions, there are a set of side missions I'll be doing, and then going into a set of story missions. Before each side mission, I get to pick a list of weapons, as well as a list of force powers. One of the biggest differences between my run in SGDQ and this one is I will both be starting on a different order of missions, and I will be taking different force powers. So here I'm actually going to be picking up Lightning, and the thing I'm going to try and do is finish Force Lightning 3 as quickly as possible. So the first 3 missions I'm going to take Force Lightning. Then I will take Heal 1 at the end. Normally, this is the last mission, and we have Heal 2 and Rage 2, which makes this level extremely easy. However, I decided to spice things up and make it much more difficult, just so I could have a force power that I enjoy using, and then have some more fun. So that rail line, normally we would use Force Rage to keep us from going under 1 health, but because I just am comfortable with that extremely insanely difficult set of jumps as I practice it into the ground, I'm just going to completely bypass the necessity for Force Rage. The other portion of the game that gets more difficult is actually going to be the first boss. And because I do not have Force Rage for the first boss, I'm going to have to do a really cool strat, which I'm extremely excited to show you guys. So coming up here through the level, I also don't have Force Heal. So you'll notice I have very low health, so this can be extremely stressful at times. But as long as I am proficient and I continue to move forward, I should be totally okay. Another nice thing is that we're actually utilizing the quick save quick load system in this game to be able to do really difficult tricks or take slightly more risky scenarios and apply them to the run. And this allows us to go even faster, more consistently. Yeah, it's so cool. So coming up here, now that we finished Rails, we're going to be going into Danger. And in Danger, we're actually going to be showing something really cool. So if you remember this mission from casual playthroughs, what we'll be doing is getting various parts to repair the ship. However, what I just did there was use a bind called vid restart, which is the same as refreshing your graphics after you change the resolution of your game. However, whenever you do this in a cutscene, it has a very special effect. It actually allows us to enter the cutscene. So when I enter the cutscene, I'm still going to be able to pick up parts as normal and return them to the ship.
Hey, you there.
However, something is a little bit different. You'll notice that as I'm jumping on the sand, the sandworms aren't coming out and murdering me. And the reason is because while we're in the cutscene, the sandworms for some reason just freeze up. The other effect is now that I've collected this last part, boom, it warps me back to where I should be at the end of the cutscene normally. However, it allows me to save my inventory and continue on. So I actually missed this jump here, so I'm going to have to improvise, which I don't normally have to do. And that's totally okay. So here I'm actually going to jump around like this to get on this box, because that was extremely risky. And unfortunately, we've got the rumble effect from the worms. That's okay. That just happens. You only get one chance in the tournament. Oh my goodness. Now we're going over to collect the last part, using some great AI manipulation to move the sandworms around so that I can be guaranteed to jump on the sand without them getting in my way. Oh, nice. Nailed it. And there they go. Right behind me, trying to kill me. That's okay. And so it's very interesting with this new routing because we're actually doing the last missions first. So sort of the comfort we have in a lot of cases of having these better force powers, we don't. But now things are going to get a little crazy because I have Force Lightning 3, which you'll see at the end of the mission. There, though, I picked up det packs, and det packs are actually going to be extremely, extremely important because I know the spawn locations of 6 Tusken Raiders that are going to spawn near the end of the mission that I have to kill off in order to complete the mission. I'm going to be able to place det packs in their spawn points and then kill them off immediately after they spawn. And this is going to save a good chunk of time.
Can't go that
That being said, though, here is Canyon Climb, which for some reason the developers accidentally wrote in a bunch of these loose pixels, and it's going to allow me to go ahead and climb on them because I know exactly where they are. There we go. Nice. That's a pretty decent canyon climb. I usually don't miss that last jump, but that's okay. No problem. Coming up here is Descent. Descent's very interesting because I'm only going to be hopping while trying to build a very certain amount of speed in order to be able to fall down this cliff as quickly as possible. And then here coming out is a really difficult jump sequence, and okay, I took a backup. Oh, but I still got the full chain anyway. Wow, and a random boost. Excellent. Okay, so here we go. We're going to be placing these det packs down. Whoop. And this is going to help us kill off this list of enemies right at the end of the mission. So coming up here, we're actually going to use Force Speed here in order to slow down time, because Force Speed in JKA and JKO slows down time instead of speeding it up, like you see in a lot of the Dark Forces runs. Oh. Okay. There we go. So that guy can be kind of difficult to get up on the rail, but now that I've done that, I'm going to be able to jump on his head and skip another elevator. Yes! And so here we like to take no prisoners and save the frames, so we're going to be slaying some innocent Jawas at the tears of the Jedi. And so coming through here, this is going to be the first application of Force Lightning, where I'm actually going to kill off a bunch of enemies that can cause quite a bit of RNG, just very, very simply. Boop. And now that I know the Tusken Raiders have spawned, I will activate the det packs and kill them instantaneously. So here, coming into the final mission of our side missions that we're going to be doing, I am now picking up thermal detonators and Heal 1. Heal 1 is a little bit weaker than Heal 2, and the reason is because we actually have to completely stop in order to use it. So you never sort of want to use Force Heal when it's only rank level 1. So this adds a little bit of risk factor as we're traveling through various missions until we get that Heal 2 at the end of Tier 2. But now I'm going to use these thermal detonators to hopefully kill off an enemy. And I got him. Nice. So there's another use of Force Lightning. Normally I have to wait to kill him. Oh, the reverse door crouchy. Oh, take a bath. Oh my goodness, that was epic. Alright. So normally I have to wait for those guys to line up, but I was just able to use Force Lightning in order to kill them instantaneously as they traveled out the door. They're getting a small little boost by destroying a box and taking some damage in the process. It was really awesome. Okay. So coming up here's a trick I actually missed in SGDQ, but you know what? We're going to get it. I don't care how many attempts it takes me to do. So we're going to quick save here, then we're going to use Force Pull to pull this Rodian into position, and then use Force Push in order to knock him down on the ground. Oh boy. Oh no! Okay, so I actually just soft blocked because of a bad save. So I am going to have to skip the trick. No! I'm a liar! I'm so sorry! Please forgive me! Oh god! Alright. Oh jeez. So coming through here, we're entering the end of the mission, and Force Lightning is going to be useful once again. So here, using my lightsaber on those human targets because they have more health. Ooh, sound glitch. And then using Lightning and TDs in order to kill those Rodians instantaneously. Oh my god, the sound glitch is so funny. Oh, it's so good. And so here, we're going to be entering the first story mission, which is Hoth 2. And it's called Hoth 2 instead of Hoth 1 because the developers kind of lost.
I can probably
Hoth
cover more distance with
won.
one of those.
I don't know what happened. That was kind of weird. But now we are entering our first sort of vehicle movement, and we're going to see another vehicle movement after this. But these Tauntauns can strafe jump just like we can. And this is going to allow us to use the speed boost function that they have, and then follow it up by strafe jumping in order to not only keep that speed, but also slightly build off of it as we turn. And so coming through here is going to be another Tauntaun. We're actually going to do something a little special. We're actually going to glitch it out. And the way we're going to do this is by walking up this cliff over here and then walking off. And for some reason, this knocks me off. I'm not jumping off. It's just going to straight up, whoops, knock me off if I can get it. Yep, there we go. Nice. Okay, it can be a little wonky sometimes with what angles work, what height works. But here is actually a new skip that I started applying to my runs. It's a little bit more difficult, but it's going to be the same concept. When we glitched out the Tauntaun, what ended up happening was we lowered its deceleration. And so because of this, we can build more speed with the speed boost and launch ourselves up the cliff. And this saves us a little bit of time. Nice! And the really crazy thing is that we actually just skipped like 2/3 of the level there just by jumping up over a giant invisible wall. Oh, that's so crazy. Coming up here, though, is probably one of the biggest time saves that we're going to see from Force Lightning, and it's just going to be allowing us to sort of clear enemies for free. Because this level has a lot of densely packed hallways, and so as we traverse through this level, you're going to see a lot of uses of Force Lightning. But anyways, this is a great time to read donations, so I'm just going to be running through these hallways. So if you have them, please feel free to start reading. Yeah. So here, they're just going to be reading donations. And take out the bowcaster. I just barely missed that boost. Okay. Charge it up. Punch him in the knees. Lightning. And punch him in the knees. Get a boost there. Punch him in the knees. Oh, that was in the crotch. That was just cool. Okay. Alright, awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. So, coming through here, we're actually going to be shooting these stormtroopers in the knees, because apparently it is a vital organ. F yeah, Skyrim strats. And so coming up here is also going to be the first boss of the game. Whoops, got a little turned around there. Called Alora 1. And because I don't have Force Rage anymore, I have to get a little bit creative, because I can't just bypass my saber through her saber. So what I'm going to try and do is stun her, and then switch to saber, and then roll. Oh, nailed it! That's so difficult. Oh my goodness. And there's a lot of RNG involved. Oh, that's so great that I got that first try. Oh my goodness. So here we're going to be building Protect 1, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Now we're going into Trip. And Trip is probably the craziest level of the entire run. The reason is because vehicles are glitched as F. So here we're going to use the speeder bike to use the speed boost, and then turning builds me a lot of speed, and then using a side jump feature for some reason stores my speed value so that I can go ahead and do this skip. That was awesome. Oh my goodness. Alright, and now we're going to pick up a second bike, and this second bike is going to be used for something similar. However, the entire point of skipping that cutscene was allow me to get the second bike, and then now that I have it, I'm going to go ahead and use this trick again in order to get up onto this mountain. And the reason why I'm getting up on this mountain, climbing up, is because it's really funny that the developers actually made the start points and the end points of the level, directly next to each other. So here, walking up this knife edge, I'm actually just going to be jumping a very small distance in order to get across the mountain. Also, this is the first mission in Tier 2. In Tier 2, we actually got an upgrade to all of our force powers, all of our primary force powers, excuse me. And this is going to be extremely important. Most notable of all is, of course, going to be Force Jump Level 2. Because Force Jump Level 2 allows us to turn for longer as we're jumping through the air. However, it's also going to give us a little bit more acceleration when we're turning. And that's going to be huge. So there I had to stop and think because I have lost runs just purely from clicking on the wrong mission. Oh my goodness. I actually don't have a new PB yet with this new routing, but I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm super close. And so in here is going to be starting off with Rogue instead of Wedge. And the reason for this is that I'm actually going to need Force Protect 3 for Wedge. And I will show that in a bit. But basically, I just did chain together and showed off how ridiculous Force Jump Level 2 is, skipping an entire mission. And so here, I'm actually going to use something called Force Pull Cancellation, as you saw in Surprise. And that's going to allow me to cancel the cooldown of a weapon. That's going to allow me to kill off those enemies. So now that we have Force Protect 3, we're going to be entering Wedge. The reason why we need Force Protect 3 is that after I hit a first couple of homing beacons, there's going to be a part where I jump to the bottom of the level, and I need to mitigate all that fall damage. However, Force Protect is awesome because it requires less force than Force Rage, and it's actually going to leave me with slightly more health. So even though I only have heal level 1, not a problem, because I'm going to have more than enough health left over. It's also going to allow me to spend a little bit more force on these initial jumps, which is really, really cool, without having to worry about force management. Yeah! So, oops. I accidentally jumped the wrong way. That's okay. It's pretty easy sometimes to get, like, turned around in cutscenes and such.
Too easy.
So my force is actually looking a little low, so I'm actually going to pause here for a second, and now. Ooh, just barely missed it. Yeah, this jump sequence can be a little tricky. There we go. I have more speed now. Awesome. Okay, made it second try. That's really good. That's really good. So here you'll notice that I barely have 50 force, and this would be a concern. And now we're actually going to attempt a new trick that was discovered recently, where I'm actually going to be vid restarting to enter this cutscene here. Okay, nailed it. And I'm going to try and get to that elevator that I just set down in time. If I miss it, I'm going to lose a good portion of time, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's see, I just have to focus really quickly. Made it! Oh, wow, that's really good. Oh my goodness, okay. So now that I made that elevator, that is actually going to save a good chunk of time. Another interesting tidbit of this elevator, of entering this cutscene, is that I actually can't take damage of enemies. So even if they shoot me, they won't actually deal damage. And so now coming through here, we're going to be jumping across as per usual, trying to kill off some stormtroopers to mitigate RNG of them getting in the way of me doing crazy, crazy jump chains. And boom, there we go, last homing beacon for Wedge. However, now we find out that the Imperial has actually laid down a bunch of explosives. So I'm going to showcase off some really beautiful movement as I jump through this level in order to disarm these bombs. That being said though, as people just watch, this is a great time to also read some donations. So you've got time for about 2 to 3.
You're doing great, Jake.
Okay, and I'm just moving through. Man, I just love this level. I just love this level so much. The movement is just so fluid. Okay, here we go.
We're out of here.
Alright, and then what's next for explaining? Dosun takes our weapons and stuff. Yeah, nice. Alright, great. Thank you so much. So going into here, we're going to be going to the last side mission for Tier 2, and we're going to be picking up Heal 2. Heal 2 is going to be extremely important because we're going to have to heal on Vajun 1, which is the first story mission that's coming up after this last side mission. However, in this side mission, we actually get all of our weapons confiscated. However, by the use of Force Lightning and the E11 Blaster, which is like one of the primary basic weapons that usually does not cause fear into the hearts of my enemies, is going to bring me to victory. It's going to bring me to victory. That being said, what I just did was I actually just jumped around the level and skipped like pretty much grand majority of the level. And then coming up here, I'm going to be doing what is known as Alcatraz skip, which can be very, very tight. There we go, nailed it. Awesome. Ooh, yeah. And so coming up here, we're going to be entering up, just jumping around. And so we're actually going to be approaching one of the scariest bosses in a casual playthrough of this game. And the reason is because you don't have your lightsaber, you do not have a sniper rifle, or anything like a rocket launcher. However, you'll notice that this blaster rifle shoots in a scatter pattern. So it can be very, very hard to hit things at long range. But I'm going to use a force power known as Force Sense. That's actually going to give me 100% accuracy. And there, what I just did is before entering the boss fight, I'm using vid restart. And the reason why I'm using vid restart is not to enter this cutscene, but instead it's going to be just dumping the game's memory. Because if I quick save and quick load too many times, I will crash the game. And that will happen somewhere in a future level. So there I'm using Force Protect level 3 to stop from getting bounced around by the boss, and boom, nailed it. Alright, let's take on Vajun 1. So Vajun 1 is going to be one of the crazier levels in Tier 2. It's going to show off a lot of movement mechanics, so it's going to be a lot of crazy stuff. First thing is I'm going to take out the flechette, and I'm going to shoot it at Kyle. Because when I do this, he's actually going to force push me back. This is going to be giving me a little bit of speed boost. There, that was no good. Oh, nailed it. Awesome. And there, what I just did was I preheated the oven by firing early to cause the AI to move in a very specific spot, and oh, I just barely missed baking a batch. But that's okay. That's alright. No problem. That was still amazing. That was so funny. So coming through here in this level, force and health management is extremely important. So this is actually really good that I have 69 armor, because when I fall below 50 armor, whenever I take damage, it actually starts going to my health. And so I want exactly 100 health and exactly 100 force when I hit this point right here. And now we've actually picked up one of the most crazy weapons that you're going to see a lot of in the 3rd tier set of missions. This is the Stuker concussion rifle. Whenever we shoot the alternative fire, I keep missing that. Whenever we shoot the alternative fire, it's actually going to give us a small speed boost. And here is probably the most difficult jump chain in the entire game right now. And oh no, I just barely miss it in the worst case scenario. If I don't miss it in the worst case scenario, I can actually do a little bit of a backup. So we're actually going to set ourselves up for that backup. But I actually just made the normal jump chain, and boom, awesome. I'm really glad I got to showcase that. And that's like, I'm not surprised. We're going to lose a lot of time just because I missed that, but that's alright. That's alright. You only get one chance in the tournament. Nailed it. So coming up here is something called Vajun Skip, and by using the Stuker concussion rifle, it's going to allow me to get up on this cliff and get, because of a little bit of speed boost. So coming up here is going to be none other than Vajun 2, and Vajun 2 I'm going to be showing off some saber strats. The really cool thing in this level is that we picked up strong style after we finished the Hoth series. So when we use strong style, it actually has a very high parry value of damage. So if you played multiplayer, you know this sort of allows me to cut through medium and light style really easily, which is what these enemies have. And so there I'm using quick save, quick load to try and goad Kyle into not getting stuck. Oh, looks like he got stuck anyway. That's alright though. That's alright. That just happens. Whoop. So if you play this game casually, usually we're supposed to get a bunch of pumps here. Rip Kyle. Nope, sorry. Take a bath. Alright, here we go. So coming through here, I'm going to be using Force Jump at a very specific time in order... in order to get through that laser beam without having a very painful death. And we were able to navigate that successfully, even though that was extremely stressful. Awesome. Oops. Oops. And so coming up here, we're going to hit a list of mirrors, and then get catapulted directly into Vajun 3, which will be the last story mission. But this is a really great time for more donations if you've got them. Okay. Awesome. Donations. Donations. Alright. Let's see. How is my force? My force is fine. Alright.
Nothing I can't handle.
Oh, I made it! I did not expect to make that. He's still reading donations. No, get the... Man, that rail can be so trolly sometimes. Oh, man.
Rails are here now.
Alright. Whoop. Take a seat. Alright, great. Thank you so much. So, coming up here is going to be a very important room. and it's a room that's going to be called Robot Room. Very, very specific, because we're actually going to be killing off a bunch of robots. Yeah! The trick, though, with these robots is that they're going to be placed in the 4 corners of this room. However, the DEMP is going to be able to fire through these doors. So, right after these robots spawn, I can actually use pull cancellation with the DEMP AoE effect in order to kill them off extremely quickly. And that was, like, nearly a perfect robot room. That's so exciting. Oh my goodness. Coming up here is going to be another set of saber strats. The first one is going to be an extremely difficult enemy, but tying together force speed into this mix is going to allow me to slow down this swing, but hold the same damage proc rate and be able to kill him extremely, extremely quickly. Yeah, nailed it. Oh, that's so cool. So coming in here, we're just going to enter this cutscene. Because we can enter this cutscene, the Reborn can no longer heal Rosh. So all we have to do is jump close, force speed, roll, saber up the butt. Nailed it. The really funny thing too is that if you skip the cutscene at a very bad time, you can actually enter the cutscene and lose like 10-15 seconds. So I like wait a split second to skip the cutscene. But coming up here, we have Force Jump Level 3. And if you thought Force Jump Level 2 was broken with the Super Rifle, just wait until you see what I'm going to be doing with Force Jump Level 3. So coming up here, I'm going to fall down here onto the sledge, set myself up, and then do very specific jumps. Double Stuker, and then jump down here and use a Force Jump Level 3. Oh, to overshoot it! I have never done that before. What the fuck? Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Holy crap. Wow. I think that's good. Yeah, it's good. Oh my goodness. I have never done that before. There we go. Oh, well, I'm glad I got to show that again, because that just looks crazy. Okay, here we go. So here, using Force Sense, I have to, in order to see the switches, and then Force Push is 15 force per tick. There, I'm going to be quick saving just in case I die, which I did not, which is excellent. And we will progress. So here I only have Force Absorb level 2, but that's okay. We used to use it as an oh butts button, but we just use quick save and quick load if we get really bad RNG. But this is also going to show off a new feature of the Stuker that I haven't actually shown yet. And this is going to be also to push myself upwards, so I'm not just gaining speed and moving forward, but I'm actually going to be saving force. Because force management in this mission is actually extremely important. And so using the Stuker there is going to allow me to save a lot of force. Whoops. Okay, so, okay, that's fine. There we go. That's the jump I wanted to do. Oh my goodness, new routing. Boop. Awesome, so here's the biggest source of RNG. Okay, we didn't get screwed over. That's amazing! In my GDQ run and in this run, I just totally did not get royally screwed over. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's such a relief. This is probably like one of the most stressful for me, running this game especially, because it's like one of the later missions in the run, and you can just get totally messed up by RNG. But that being said, we're going to be picking up Mind Trick here, and very, very specific weapons. Rocket Launcher for damage, Stuker Concussion Rifle for movement, and Det Packs to mitigate RNG. Also going to be using Lightning. But it's just a bunch of very small hallways with a lot of enemies. So if you have more donations, this is an excellent time to read them. And then it's going to be, oh, that's rare. Donations, donations, donations. So I'm gonna, oh, there we go. Man, switches in this game can just be like so impossible sometimes. Boop.
Tractor beam disabled.
Okay. Good. Head back to the ship. I just need
Got him. Alright. My health is really low though, which is scary. So we'll just take out the white. Oh boy. Whoa. Still reading donations. Whoop. Nailed it. Let's heal on up. Heal on up. Alright, great. Thank you so much. So coming up here, I'm going to be jumping at a very specific point. I was moving at a very specific speed through there in order to try and catch a very specific pattern for these TIE fighters. because if I can get the same pattern every single time, I can sort of aim at a certain list of TIE fighters in a very specific order, just like I did there in order to kill them off. Woo! Force swag very, very quickly. And so now that I've killed off the TIE fighters, I'm jumping to the end of the level as quickly as possible. Blowing up those detonators is going to clear this hallway, and then I'm going to rocket, 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 lightning. Did I get everyone? Oh, I did! Awesome! Oh, that's so great.
We haven't received.
Okay. So coming up here is going to be the last mission. And so I'm going to finish off my Force powers with Force Absorb 3, which is really, really awesome. And oh yeah, that's a really nice time save. This is like a really difficult level to do consistently really fast. So that's like so exciting that I got that. So coming up here, Boba is sort of your friendly neighborhood RNG troll. And so what Boba is going to be doing is switching between one of 3 weapons randomly. And the first 2 weapons, the E11 blaster and the rocket launcher, are actually totally okay. They're totally okay. What we don't want him to do is to pull out the sniper rifle. Because if he pulls out the sniper rifle, he's going to jump up to a perch and be really, really difficult to kill at the end of the mission. So as long as he doesn't pull out the sniper rifle, we should be in the clear. However, because this is a marathon run, I'm secretly hoping he gives me the worst RNG possible in order for me to be able to show off a really, really cool trick. Because I just recently learned to back up and have not had many chances to try it out, so I really, really hope I get to showcase that off here. And so coming through here, I'm just doing some really beautiful movement, so you can go ahead and read off 1 to 2 donations. And read through donations. Alright, 2 more bombs to go. Oh, nice, I hit that boost. I, like, never hit that boost. It's, like, so elusive. I could have done a better jump cancel there. That's alright. We'll smooth that out in practice. More donations. Hey, Boba. Oh, he has the disruptor, I think. Oh, please, please have the disruptor. Please have the disruptor. Oh, my goodness. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, I think he has it. Alright, great, so here we go. I think he's actually trolling the heck out of us. Yeah, it looks like he is, so let's go ahead and jump over here. And then we're gonna jump up, bring out the saber, save, and kill him extremely fast. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I'm so glad I got to show that off, because I did not get to show that off at GDQ. So coming up here, we're going to enter the last 4 story missions, and this one in particular is going to be absolutely insane. Because in this mission, this is the longest level casual. It is so long, but purely because I have Force Jump level 3, I'm going to be able to just jump up right to the end of the level. And I'll show that right here. Boop. So there's the first tricky jump. I'm trying to save as much force as possible doing these jumps, and then using the Stuker to punch myself up just a little bit further in order to make that jump. And coming into this last little section. I use Force Rage, so I'm going to jump up here. You say, Covert, there's no bridge here. Well, guess what? You might be right. You might actually be right. Oh, nope, just kidding. Take a bath. Alright. It's so ridiculous. It's just so... Ugh. Oh, man. Awesome. So coming in here is Task 2. This is another level that has a bunch of little jumps because of Force Jump level 3. And we're going to be able to skip good portions of the level. Alright, so coming up here is the first difficult one. I got stuck in... Oh, I made it out with Force Swag. So I'm going to jump up there to make sure that guy doesn't spawn into my hitbox, which he can. Oh, whoa. Oh, dropping some frames. Uh-oh. Dropping lots of frames. No, please don't. Okay. Whoop. So that was really good that that guy just force saber throwed at me. Because if he doesn't, he can actually use Force Lightning. That can ruin our game. And so coming through this section, I'm actually jumping through at a very, very specific pace in order to be able to catch a very, very specific chain for these blocks. So jumping through here, boom, this block's in a perfect position for me to be able to make that jump sequence. And so coming through here, I'm going to use Force Absorb, and yes, yes, troll me. Troll me. And also, that very specific jump sequence I got earlier allows me to hit that block at a very specific point in time. So coming up here is actually probably one of the hardest bosses, both casually and speedrunning wise, and I'm actually going to make it really difficult. And the reason is because it's going to allow me to do this even faster. Oh, take a seat. Take a seat. Boop. And so what I just did there was I activated force speed at a very specific point in time. If I miss that very specific point in time, what ends up happening is that the boss also activates force speed along with me. And so this is known as action locking. And so if I don't successfully action lock Alora here, then what ends up happening is every time I damage proc her, she gets shot back away from me. And that's really not something I want to have happen. So coming up here, these last two missions are actually going to go really, really quickly. In this mission, it's usually extremely long, with lots of enemies that you have to kill with saber combat, and these guys can be really trolly like they just were right there. So now I'm actually really unfortunately low on force. That's okay, but I can actually throw my lightsaber through this floor. This is going to allow me to destroy the chains that normally allow me to get back up. Because usually you have to snake your way throughout this entire level, but because I can throw my saber through that, I'm going to be able to open the door to the end of the level, then jump up easy peasy. And you let the power of the reverse door crouchy, yes, lead me to victory. Take a seat. Take a seat. Oh my goodness, reverse door crouchy, so good. So coming in here, this level is also going to be extremely fast because we're going to show off just how crazy Stuker movement really can be at its epitome. We're going to use force pull cancellation if I don't get this well enough. Okay, so I use the cancellation. Oh no, I missed it! Oh no! Oh, that was so close! Let's see if I can get it. Oh no, not again! Not like this! I just want to go fast! Oh no! Oh, the pressure's getting to me. Alright, we can do this, guys. Just believe in me. Oh no, on his head! Alright, let's just keep going. This is okay. This is okay. That was amazing. Alright, so normally what happens is that I just, whoops, I use the Stuker in order to punch myself on top of that ledge, and I get a crazy burst of speed. But because that failed, I just had to go for a little bit of a backup. That's okay. Alright, first boss down, get ready on time. It's immediately after she dies, and time! Oh crap, I need to warn him sooner. I keep forgetting about that. Oh, that's okay. 3707. I might do another go, but thank you so much for watching my submission. I hope this was exciting. I just had a blast at SGDQ. I'm really excited to see what happens at AGDQ, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.